Professor Galileo, thank you so much for your interest in the psychology department here at the University of California at San Bernardino. Can you please tell us a little bit about your background?
Sure. Yeah, it started with a fascination with pendulums.
Oh, that's very interesting. Can you please elaborate on that?
Sure. Yeah, as a student, I remember I was in awe of a lamp that I saw swinging in the Cathedral of Pisa in Italy. And I noticed that it didn't matter how far the chandelier had swung, it always took the same amount of time to complete one swing. And now here's something for you. I used my own pulse on my wrist to measure time, as there were no wristwatches back in my day. And my experiments with pendulums have confirmed that it took the same time for a pendulum to go back and forth no matter the distance that it swung. And my discovery has led to the later invention of the pendulum clock. Some say that that opened up the Industrial Revolution, developing a method for keeping time which has allowed for a faster pace of life. Take that as you will, I suppose.
That's very impressive. A man of genius. Do you mind sharing where you worked previously?
Yes, so I've actually worked as a professor and a tutor at the University of Pisa, Italy, as well as Padua. After I had dropped out previously at the university as a medical student, and I dropped out to pursue my passion for mechanics and mathematics. And while teaching at the university, others in academia at the time had argued over Aristotle's belief that heavier objects fall faster than light ones. And at this time, most scientists agreed with Aristotle, and I actually challenged this belief. And I had some ideas, and to prove my ideas correct, I had set up a demonstration at the Leaning Tower of Pisa, very famous, of course, and to see if heavier objects fall faster than lighter ones, as Aristotle had perpetuated. Because if that were true, then the heavier objects would reach the ground faster than the lighter ones. They would reach the ground first. However, the results from my demonstration proved that all objects, regardless of their mass, they free fall with the same acceleration. And this demonstration, combined with my apparent, some would say arrogant attitude, led to my employment at the university not being renewed. And I believe that they were possibly humiliated for their believing in Aristotle in this regard.
Wow. I see you're not afraid to make waves, my friend. Now, on that note, let's get to the topic of the Catholic Church. There's some things that happened. Am I right?
Well, I had challenged the church's official position that the earth is the center of the universe. Yes, the church has caused me a lot of problems, and of course I've caused problems for them as well. I guess it goes both ways. But you see, when I started developing my own telescopes, I found quite a few things that were profound, discoveries that upset the status quo. And I believe that the status quo deserves to be upset.
Status quo. Can you elaborate on that?
I found that our planet's moon was not a perfect sphere. This debunked Aristotle's idea that all heavenly bodies were perfectly spherical. I've laid detailed sketches of my lunar observations in my book that's roughly translated The Starry Messenger, if you care to look it up. I've also discovered that 4 of Jupiter's moons, the largest ones, were orbiting around Jupiter, which I understand over time those moons have actually been named after me, which I am greatly honored for. But see, this challenges the idea that the heavens revolve around the Earth. And I've proven that even the planet Venus, that's closer to the sun, goes through phases just like our moon. And the nature of these phases can only be explained by Venus going around the sun rather than going around the Earth. So you see, Venus must travel around the sun and at times it passes behind and beyond the sun. Therefore, the Earth is not the center of the universe.
This is remarkable. It seems that these discoveries really have greater implications, and I'm sensing there's a lot of fear underneath those implications. Am I wrong?
Yeah, you could say that. I never intended to debunk Christianity or what scriptures say about God or our universe and our existence in it. However, the powers that be did not see my discoveries that way. So in 1633, I faced an inquisition by the Catholic Church whose purpose was to prosecute those considered to be enemies of the state. I was interrogated. I was threatened with torture. I was then charged with vehemently suspect of heresy. And I reluctantly pleaded guilty and was forced to recant my discoveries in exchange for a lighter sentence.
Well, I certainly hope this interview doesn't feel like another inquisition. What was your sentence, if you don't mind my asking?
I was put under house arrest for the rest of my life, and the authorities had banned my books and sought to prevent me from carrying on my work any further, as well as to prevent any further works being published.
I can't imagine going through something like that. So concerning your vast background and knowledge in mathematics, and physics, and astronomy and philosophy, what approach do you see yourself taking when you're teaching our students at our university?
Well, I place a heavy emphasis on measurable phenomena. So this would take the form of observing and measuring people's sensations and perceptions. I do see the body as a mechanical wonder, a very complex machine that works based on mechanical principles, and I can draw some parallels that I see between the human body and a telescope. They're both comprised of designed parts that all work together for a common purpose, and they have limits to their capabilities, and I'm interested to discover more about these limitations of man and machine. Concerning self-reporting and this method of introspection, I am not a fan by any means. I seek to help establish psychology as a legitimate science that is based in quantifiable data, and I approach the human mind and body as a significant piece of the same larger body of creation that is all around us, exploring the relationship between the cosmic and the mortal. I'm absolutely fascinated by that.
Well, Professor Galileo, this is an absolutely stellar track record of achievement. I really appreciate you reaching out to us, and we will be in touch about steps moving forward, working together.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you giving me the time and having an audience with me. I hope to hear from you soon. And remember, all truths are easy to understand once they are discovered. The point is to discover them.